What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 93. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and today I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, folks? How you doing?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And Brian Manjoma.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
All right, what's going on, people? Oh, man, so this is going to be an interesting episode. You guys didn't ask any fucking questions. We only got like 6 of them. Like, you guys on vacation or something?
Yo, man, it's like there was nothing happening over the weekend. I don't know, a giant comic convention with a bunch of movie announcements? Eh?
I mean, we did get some Comic-Con questions, but in general, I mean, I get it. There's, it's a video game podcast, and, there's not much going on in gaming, so I get that. But at the same time...
Man, there was a couple of gaming things happening over the weekend.
Yeah, well, it's something that nobody cared about, apparently. So, again, since we're just fluffing up for time now, so Sega had a big anniversary thing for Sonic, right? 25 years, and they fucking did it. They finally released a 2D, the 2D Sonic game we've been waiting for, right?
You want to hear something hilarious about that game?
What's up?
That game is made by a guy who
Christian Whitehead.
Yes, Christian Whitehead, the guy who literally recreated the Sonic CD engine.
Exactly. That's when I saw that guy's name. I'm like, oh yes, fucking awesome. I got so excited,
So essentially, it's like remixed versions of some older levels, and then it's like all new episodes. And these are levels from the different Sonic games. Like one's from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic CD, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic Knuckles and Tails are all in the game as playable characters.
Yeah, man. So I got really hyped up for that, but then
and then they slapped you in the face with something.
I don't know.
Sonic Generations 2.
Oh, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. But the thing that I found funny, again, we're just fluffing up our time here. Okay, we've talked about this on Throwdown before. You guys react to certain videos more than others, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I do those Tony's Takes, they get a lot of hits, except for the ones where I'm excited about something. Okay. You guys don't care about that. So I did one for Sonic Mania, right? Because dude, it's Sonic. This is the game I've been waiting for like 10 years, right? This shit got like 60 hits at most. Compare that to the last video I did, the one where I talked about the YouTubers and all that nonsense. 600 hits. That's even more than Throwdown gets. People like drama,
I think in general, it's weird how the gaming community seems to react to more negative things.
Yeah.
Than positive things.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I also think it depends on the positive thing that they react to.
Yeah, nobody cares about Sonic. Let's just be honest.
I think it's nobody cares about Sonic, but I think if you did a whole different Tony's take on like why Sonic sucks and how he's irrelevant, I think that would probably get people more riled up. Yeah,
it's pretty interesting how that works. But yeah, quick thing, obviously. I want to give a huge shout out to our guests from the last episode of Throwdown, Robert Workman, Andre Tipton, and Jose Bencourt, who, I've wanted on for a long time, but he's always sleeping when we record his show, Those guys were fun.
That was a pretty nutty show. That was like a controlled hip-hop gamer show. Almost.
Yeah, exactly. my favorite portion of it was when we were talking about Evo, and you were like, they should get Jim Ross to, officiate these things. He's dead, he killed him.
He killed him, he's doing a Tatsumaki Senpukaku. Oh my god.
That would be awesome, so yeah, that was...
He's doing a super move.
We got to get Jerry the King Lawler in there, too.
Yeah. He just got like that when they're about to do a big move.
Yeah.
Just screams.
And then the other thing I want to tell people, this is funny, I forgot to mention this on the last episode. Dude, you guys remember Tazon Day? Chocolate Rain.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he's following Throwdown on Twitter.
Listen, it's funny, he kind of went through all of us, because he also watched me, and he also watched, I think he watched Chris. I think he's watching you now.
Is he? Yeah, because I started following him. I don't know if he's following me back.
I think the Tazon Day account, he has there's I don't know if it's you can install like a bot onto your system, right? And then essentially it'll start just randomly favoriting a bunch of people. like how the guy who essentially designed Echo the Dolphin is watching us both for some odd reason.
Yeah.
But he's watching everybody on Twitter.
Yeah, so it's not. But you know who else is watching everybody too? What's his face? Nolan Bushnell. He watches everybody. You know? It's insane.
I think some people have in order to kind of bump their views, what they'll do is it'll mass follow a bunch of people, and then and then you follow them back.
Yeah, because look at Tazon Day. This dude follows more people than he is following. He's following 335,000 people.
Exactly. He can't possibly be actually watching all of those damn people. He's got a bot.
Yeah, man, his Twitter's gonna be a mess. He must be using lists, just for his own personal usage.
No, but the thing is, you can also mute a bunch of people too.
Yeah.
So whatever that bot is probably watching and then muting every single person. So he doesn't get anybody on those actual feeds.
Yeah, it's hilarious, man.
It's the thing is there's a section of Twitter which is called there's like the business section, right?
Yeah.
And you can pay them to promote your shit and do all kinds of other stuff. And I'm sure he installed like a bot on his thing that gets all these people, and then the people watching him back, and then he can get a little bit of money or whatever he can get out of it. So there's a method to that madness. So if you see there's some people that are legitimately watching you, like I have a couple of people that are pretty famous, like maybe watching my account. Those are legitimate ones because you usually see there's a little bit of you see their watch to follows ratio is different. Yeah. Like if it's usually low, you can see that they're actually being picky about who they watch. Those people who have thousands of them, usually it's a bot that they installed on their Twitter.
Yeah, because I remember what's his face, Chris Gore, right?
Mm-hmm.
He started following me, and then I noticed that he had a ton of he was following 1 million people. I'm like, okay, something's going on here.
Yeah, Chris Gore is probably using a bot on his system, which is weird.
Yeah, but
why would you need to use a bot at that point in time?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He wants to reach more people, or I don't know how it exactly works.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I know one of the latest guys that started following me was the guy who does the Review Tech USA videos. Mm-hmm. He started following me, right? And then I noticed he started favoriting some stuff. Like, okay, I don't think that's a bot. And then him and I have actually talked every once in a while,
Oh, yeah, I know. I've had some dealings with the Review Tech USA guy.
Yeah, he's a cool dude,
He, in fact, it's kind of funny. There was this, Review Tech USA guy has a bunch of, he has a lot of haters.
Yeah, he does.
He has a shitload of haters. And what happened was that he had some dealings with this guy who does some sort of online security. The guy who does this online security actually kind of took my artwork and used it as his logo. What I got was a bunch of guys tweeting me and sending me messages about this thing, and then eventually, I was like, okay, let me look at this, and I was like, oh, okay, so. Then I managed to get in contact with him because I guess he contacted me and put me in contact with that dude, and I was like, yeah. He's like, so can I wanted to use your. He's like, they were trying to get me to sue this dude.
Okay.
Because he was using my thing because they don't like the Review Tech guy or the other dude.
Yeah.
So, and essentially what happened was we came to an understanding. I was like, hey, listen, you just toss me a little bit of money, and then maybe if you he's like, I wanted to put it on T-shirts. I'm like, okay, if you want to put it on T-shirts, toss me a little bit of money, every time you make it, something like that, and that's it. Well, that'll be fine. But that's how me and the Review Tech USA guy have been talking a little bit.
Yeah, his name is Richard Masucci.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. I think you told me about that. I just didn't know it was that guy.
Yeah,
you did tell me the story before.
He's a cool dude. It was really understanding, and he put me in contact with this dude. So, I'm cool with that. But I mean, the thing is, in general, that dude, even though he's into online security and all this other stuff, right, and trying to get these guys, thrown off the net and all that other stuff. The first thing he didn't understand is you don't just take somebody's artwork offline and start using it. And, obviously these guys figured out that it was my artwork, that he was using, and he was using it without permission.
I just find it funny I just find it funny how these guys that put you onto this were trying to get you to sue him.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh God!" I'm like, "Listen," I said, "Listen, I'm sure I'll probably be able to talk to these guys and figure out something because I don't have the money to be suing anybody. I barely I was struggling in the city. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go and use my thousands of lawyers to go sue somebody. No, if anything, most people are reasonable. I even said it in the tweets at the time. I said most people are very reasonable, and if you talk to them, they'll and tell them, hey, listen, you're using my work without permission. Is there any way, we can figure out a way, to compensate me or something like that for using my artwork. Now the weird thing about this, some weird insidey stuff about it, is that the fact that he kind of wanted to use it. He wanted me to give him the rights to the thing, but I said, listen, it's the shadow. You can't. You'd probably be infringing on the copyright of the people who own the shadow.
Yeah.
So I said the best thing to do would probably be to hire me to make you a totally new logo rather than using the shadow itself.
It's crazy how that works.
Nice.
And then this other thing that happened, to me, very interesting. Okay, cool, Chris. So what happened is, okay, so if you guys know me from Twitter, right, I have a pinned tweet on there, right? It's a picture of, what's his name, Martin from The Simpsons, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's, the smart, nerdy kid, basically, right? It's, he's naked, and under it, it says a Hideo Kojima game, obvious reference to Death Stranding, right? So I had this thing, pinned since June 23rd, literally a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And it was like 61 retweets and 91 favorites, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell happened on Friday night, dude. This thing blew up. I'm not even exaggerating. Okay, like basically, like it was just nonstop. Like favorite retweet. I'm like, why are you going crazy now? I've had this thing forever. So as of right now, remember this is 61 retweets, and 91 favorites, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is now currently at 582 retweets and over 1,000 favorites.
I think it also it might have hit. So usually you can kind of trace those things back to a source. It might have just hit somebody who has quite a bit of followers.
I think that's what happened. Somebody with a lot of followers saw it, they retweeted it, and everybody went fucking crazy.
You can usually follow it back to something.
Yeah, it was yesterday night. I mean, yesterday morning, right? Saturday. I woke up. It was like 400 notifications or more. It's like, damn.
I find that sort of stuff interesting. Like sometimes I'll have like there'll be a resurgence of a really, really old tweet that I've done, where all of a sudden a bunch of people decide, hey, I want to really favorite this and all that stuff.
It's weird.
I don't understand where that comes from, but it just kind of hits the right note at a time, and then eventually a bunch of other people start getting into it. It's weird.
It's crazy. All right. All right. So let's get into it. Right now I don't know what the hell's going on. There's like nobody watching this show either. Very weird weekend, But I'll say hi to Kristen. She's watching us live.
Yay!
So yeah, Kristen, if you had any questions, you could ask us. All right.
Didn't we made her a mod, didn't we?
If I didn't make her a mod, I'm going to now, because Kristen needs to be a moderator, because sometimes for the 99.99999% of the time, people are cool in the comments, but sometimes, man, you get some crazy people, Yeah. Okay. There we go, Kristen. I made you a moderator now. For all the good it'll do. There's nobody in this fucking room.
You gotta moderate that empty room.
There she is. Yeah, she's the moderator. Anyway, so let's get into it. But before we get into questions, I want to, again, since we're filling up time here, let's get into some comments some people made. These are very interesting.
Okay.
And everybody that's addressed is actually in the room right now, so it's perfect. Okay, the first one is this is from Seth. Now, if you guys know Seth, he's our resident PlayStation guy. He doesn't really. He doesn't really like comments that are negative against Sony, or he will at least call them out. So he says to me, he goes, regarding No Man's Sky, Tony, you said people are expecting a lot more from this game than they're going to get. What exactly are people expecting? We've broken this down before, so, okay, what do people expect from a game nowadays, right? They expect a lot of crazy, fast action. They expect the story, right? They expect super graphics, and they expect like a ton of content. Yeah, yes, you're gonna get a ton of content in this game, but are you gonna get a story? No, you're not. Are you gonna get like stupid Call of Duty action, Uncharted action? No, you're not. Are you gonna get something that's simple to understand? Probably not. So that's what I mean. That I think any mainstream person that buys this game, just off the hype, they don't know anything about No Man's Sky. I mean, granted, that's not saying much. Most people don't know anything about No Man's Sky, but just the average person that just sees the cover art and buys it, you're gonna be like, "This isn't Call of Duty. This isn't Titanfall. What is this?
I think
This is stupid."
I think in general, though, Sony fans are a little bit more open to different things. A little bit more open,
Yeah, a little bit more.
I mean, that's why you get things like Journey doing incredibly well.
Yeah, but here's the thing, big difference. Journey was a digital-only $15 game. This is a real game, physical $60, digital $60. So I think people are going to be a little bit more like critical of it,
Yeah,
they're going to scrutinize it more.
Somebody will be like, "Yo, man, I could beat this game in 5 minutes."
Yeah, exactly. Man, I went to the center of the universe, man. Fuck this shit. Brian, what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on what?
Okay, what do you think the average person is going to think of No Man's Sky when they buy it? Will they be like, "What is this nonsense," or will they actually embrace it?
You'll get the few that are confused by it, and you get those that try and embrace what it is. But I don't think that it'll be as much as there won't be that many people that will embrace it, because let's be honest here, the majority of people just want Uncharted. They don't want exploration games.
Yep.
Seriously, they want Uncharted. They want Call of Duty. They want your more cinematic games where the game guides you through the experience, not you guide yourself through the experience. So it won't have that much popularity, and it won't even hit hard with the Minecraft guys as well, because they have Minecraft.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I hope that, even though that's not a question, it's just a comment Steph made. But yeah, there you go. That's what people are expecting. They're expecting Uncharted. They're expecting Call of Duty, and they're not going to get that. So they're going to be disappointed.
I mean, for the most part, they also might expect something like a Mass Effect, where it's like this massive universe and there's a intertwined story or something like that. It's a interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing, seeing what's going to happen with it.
Yeah. All right. The next thing here is from Final Stage Boss. This one's addressed to me first. He goes, "Tony, Forza Horizon 3 is not going to sell on Xbox One either, because the first two didn't. The only Xbox One and Windows 10 quote-unquote exclusive that will sell is Gears of War 4, which just so happens to be a shooter." I guess. I figured, Xbox guys either like shooting games or racing games. Obviously racing games not as popular as shooting games, but I figured it would sell something. But if the first two didn't sell, no reason that this one's going to sell. So
I think the issue with Forza Horizon is the fact that there is a Forza game every year. I think if the Forza games were, the real Forza games were spread out in the ways they were, which was like maybe 2 years in between them, and then if you're going to have these kind of, yearly things,
but they
you
are
name them differently. No,
yeah.
I'm saying
they have like the Forza is like the main one every 2 years, and then a Horizon in between that every 2 years.
I think they should. I think that's the problem. It's the fact that this thing is also called Forza. I think if it was named something else, because I feel like, at least with me, when I hear the name, right, I think, oh my God, it's another Forza game. Why? I feel like the way it should be done is that you don't even call this game Forza. You just call it Arcade Racer or whatever the fuck you call it. You're gonna call it, and that's what that one should be. And then Forza is like the Gran Turismo. It's kind of how, like, at some point there was a Twisted Metal, and then there was Gran Turismo or whatever other racing game there was, and then some, and then the Gran Turismo game.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think just having the name Forza on there is getting people tired.
I think people are getting tired of the name because they hear it so much. I feel like if they were to rename that franchise, the other versions of those games, into something else, I think people wouldn't be as like less willing to probably pick them up.
or they would be more willing to
More
pick them
willing
up. You know? All right. And the next thing he has to say to us here, I put him in purple here so we could get him. All right, this one's for Manny. This for you and Brian.
Okay.
He,
Was Brian even on there?
no, this is from he was on last week. You know,
okay.
okay, he goes, Manny and Brian, Uncharted 1 sold 5 million. That's more than just okay. The Last of Us sold 6 million, so being a new IP is no excuse for low sales. That regarding the question we got last time, you know.
Are we talking about when the original Uncharted first came out, or the numbers after a year, after?
That has to be after.
Oh, yeah,
that is
Uncharted
totally
numbers
after.
after.
no way Uncharted sold of 6 million or whatever when it came out. You know.
No, this is all after the fact. Obviously, you have a game that's out a certain amount of time. It gets word of mouth, but initially when that game came out, it didn't do that well.
Yeah.
It did okay. And then as it went on, then after that it started getting those crazy, those better numbers. I think new IP in general, new IPs are very hard sells depending on the IP or how much they've impressed people. You go with something like a friggin' Watch Dogs, right? That game did incredibly well, but look at the situation that it was in. It's like the first next-gen game that we ever saw.
Quote-unquote next-gen, by the way.
Yeah, it was the first quote-unquote next-gen game that we had anybody had ever seen. So I think if 1313 also came out at the time that it was maybe supposed to, I think also that would have also done incredibly well because there was nothing to look forward to at the time. But I think in general, new IPs are very hard sells just because they are new IPs. There just has to be the way a new IP usually does really well is if it hits certain marks. I definitely think that Halo hit that mark. I think Gears of War hit that mark when it first came out.
BioShock hit that mark too, you know.
BioShock hit that mark. So
yeah, fair point. Yeah, I mean, there's always exceptions to the rules, but in general, new IPs don't sell as well as new ones.
because nobody knows what to expect unless it's even companies, established companies making new IPs like friggin' not Sucker Punch, the other guys, Insomniac doing like Sunset Overdrive. That's a new IP right there, and they have a tenure of making incredible games, but that Sunset Overdrive wasn't able to hit anything. Or didn't do as well as they expected it to do.
Yeah, exactly. Because but then again, that I still believe that's because the audience on Xbox.
I also think that too, but I feel like if it hit that thing, that's I think it would have done a lot better.
I'm gonna guarantee you, if that game was on PlayStation, it would have done better because it's Insomniac. Insomniac is already an established PlayStation company. At least that's what people put it as. It would have done a lot better.
But I mean, it wouldn't be the first multi-platform Insomniac game that didn't do well. Remember that other game,
This isn't multi-platform.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sonic, Sunset Overdrive is complete. It's the only exclusive currently.
Yeah.
You really think about it, and just nothing else. So all right, so there you go. So let's get to the actual questions now. Final stage boss. This is an interesting one. If Marvel could get the movie rights back to either the X-Men or the Fantastic Four, which would you rather they get back, and why? Now here's my question. Is anyone picking Fantastic Four?
No.
No.
Yeah. Here's the thing. In my heart, I want to pick Fantastic Four, but here's the thing with Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four aren't facing extinction, right? Okay, Ben Grimm, he's on Guardians of the Galaxy, and fucking Johnny Storm is on 2 teams, right? The only ones missing are, Susan Storm and Reed Richards, right? And their children, right? But that's it. It's only relegated to those 5 people, right? Yeah. The X-Men, okay, because this is what's going on right now, right? Since Marvel Comics doesn't own the rights to the X-Men franchise, they're doing everything they possibly can in the comics to kill the fucking X-Men off, killing mutants off, right? right now what's going on in the comics is the Inhumans, Black Bolt, the king of the Inhumans, he released Terrigen mist across the world, right? So basically these things, when somebody inhales them and they have a certain gene inside of them, they turn into Inhumans. But if you're a mutant and you breathe this shit and you die or you become really, really sick, and now mutants are sterile, there are no more new mutants being born. Marvel is systematically killing them off. And this fall, they're going to have an event called the Death of X. And then after that, they just announced it this weekend, Inhumans versus X-Men. They're doing everything they can. So, it's insane, right? So, if Fox, did a partnership with Marvel, and I say partnership because they're not going to just give it to them. That's not going to happen, right? You could at least save the X-Men from extinction. Isn't it hilarious how X-Men are facing extinction in the books and in real life? It's crazy, The Fantastic Four don't need to be saved. They're on hiatus right now, and they can be brought back. The X-Men could potentially be killed off completely, And this is why you're getting dumb shit like Gwenpool, because they don't own Deadpool, right? But they own this Gwenpool. For you guys who don't know, Gwenpool is like a mix of Gwen Stacy and Deadpool, right? They own the rights to her, So they're trying to do all these crazy things to make their own X-Men. They're turning the Inhumans. The Inhumans have a history all their own, right? They have their own lore. They're changing all that to make them into the new X-Men, So it's kind of fucked up, and even the Inhumans are getting kind of fucked over in this, So if they get the rights back to X-Men, that's it. Everything will be right, as it should be in the comics realm. And in the movie realm, it'll be great because you'll get to see dudes like Wolverine and Cyclops mixing up with Spider-Man and fucking Captain America and stuff.
It's their way because they went and signed a silly contract with 20th Century Fox that anything X-Men related can be adapted. Here's my question though: how are they able to do a Legion show?
Because they had to go to ask Marvel for permission. They had to ask Marvel for permission for that one. Because remember, Marvel could actually make X-Men if they want to on TV.
Why don't they? They really could do that.
They could, but it's going to fuck over their cinematic universe, so they can't do that.
They could totally do it.
But the problem is their TV universe is directly connected to the MCU, right? It's not like DC where they have this disjointed TV's over here and our movies are over here.
Yes.
So they have one thing, so they can't just go, okay, we're gonna have X-Men on TV that don't connect at all to anything, right? That would just be weird.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, X-Men, they need to be saved. They're facing extinction. But Manny, just to go back to what you said. Okay, it's kind of unfair to say they made a silly deal with Fox. Marvel was facing bankruptcy. They needed to make money. So I understand why they did that. Why they licensed their movies to every studio that would take them. They needed that money. It just kind of came back to bite them in the ass a bunch of years later. But it's not fair to say that they were in the wrong. They had no other choice.
Well, I mean, the thing is that that's the same. That's literally what people use in the music industry. They sign these really bad deals so that they can get these things done. I mean, I'm sure they could have done it a different way.
They could have had a clause in it. Go, hey, if we want to do movies based on X-Men, we have that right too. But they
even Marvel Studios didn't even exist at that point in time.
Exactly. Okay, this is a case of hindsight being 20/20. They couldn't have known any of this. So we can't really, what is it? Armchair football coach guy? I don't know.
Armchair philosophers?
I don't know.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. Anyway, Brian, anything to say before we move on?
No, not really.
You don't care either way, do you?
Well, you guys have said all that I want to say, so yeah.
All right, fair enough. Moving on, related question. Will we ever get a proper Doctor Doom in the movies? Only if Marvel ever gets the rights back.
Only if they switch Doctor Doom. He's some other guy. He's Victor Von Dime. Victor Von Dime.
We've kind of talked about this before. The only way you're going to get a real Doctor Doom, the actual Doctor Doom, is going to be fucking if Marvel gets it back somehow. Fox has already fucked them up twice, And I don't think they're going to be bringing back that franchise anytime soon, So, yep. That's how you get them. If Marvel gets them, Marvel will do them right.
By the way, I find it hilarious that they have Marvel has Human Torch in their in the new Black Panther film.
Do they? Oh yes, yes, yeah.
They have the actor who played the Human Torch in their movie.
Yeah, not Chris Evans, by the way, the
Not
black
Chris
one.
Evans.
All right, let's move on here. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later, Black Panther and stuff. All right, what's the longest amount of time you've gone without playing a game since you've been a gamer, and what was the reason for the gaming time off? Very interesting question. All right, Brian, let's start with you, man. What was the longest gaming hiatus you ever went on? Come on, Brian.
There we go. I think about 10 days, and that's purely because I just was not in the mood to play games anymore. I think that I had reached like a point where had played like a bit too much in like the last couple of weeks, and then like building up to it, and then after that I was just like, you know what, like I don't want to turn on my PC, I don't want to turn on my PlayStation. I'm just good. I'll just catch some films, watch some TV shows, that type of stuff. But again, that was just one of those weird situations because I think that I'd taken off like some time off work and I just had like 2 or 3 weeks of just pure games, and it's like, you know what, I'm just had too much games. Need to like, balance out the skills a bit.
Too much games.
Yes. All right, Manny. What about you?
Now it's been like it's like 2 or 3 months between or something like that. Well, actually, I say the last time I actually played a video game was Mighty Number 9, like maybe 3 weeks ago, and then playing at E3.
Man.
That's how long it's been between games. It's just I've been so busy. I haven't had any time to sit. I want to freaking finish some of the games I have there before the flood starts.
Yes. All right, Chris. What about you?
I'd say probably the last time I did that was college, and I'd say probably only a couple of weeks. Like there'd be bouts where you got finals and midterms and stuff, and I couldn't play because back in college, I didn't have my consoles with me at college, so I was playing PC games. So when midterms and finals came around, 2 or 3 weeks, I didn't touch anything. I'd just be studying and working and stuff.
And then
But,
then all of a sudden it'd be like dirk 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 dirk.
oh yeah. No, but then I come back to New York, and then I have my PlayStation and whatever back then, and yeah, it was just binge.
Yeah, for me, I always have these periods of non-gaming. I'm kind of going through one right now. The last time I played a game that I just wanted, like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and play a game that I want to play. Shit, I don't actually remember. When the hell was that? Because I played Banner Saga. I liked the game, but I was playing it because I got a review, which I still need to do for you guys. And then before that, E3 was when I played a game. And before that, Uncharted, Doom. It was probably Doom in April. So I haven't really played many games in the last 3 months. Ironic, considering what I do for a living, right? But probably the longest gaming hiatus I ever had was right before the PS3 came out. Right, I didn't play games for like a year almost. I was more into comic books and shit at that point. So it was about a good year because it was just like, I don't really like these games anyway. I don't want to play anything. I just want to read my books. What snapped me out of it, even I played it a year after it came out, was Final Fantasy 12. I was like, okay, let me get back in it. And then because I started playing more games, and then the PS3 came out, which got me back in it for a while. But it's funny, ever since 2012 or so, it's just funny, around the time I got into this, gaming writing and stuff, my gamingness has gone down a lot. It was, think about it like this. Before I started, doing games writing, I had 48 platinums, right? It's been 4 years since then, and I've only gotten 12 more platinums in that time frame, So this whole thing has just kind of knocked it down. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Sometimes, man, when I just write about games all day, I don't want to play another video game or whatever. It's like I want to do something else completely, And also the fact that it's a summer drought, there's nothing going on right now, So that all couples it together. I know last year it was like that too. It was like a good 2 or 3 month gap. I'm pretty sure I said it on Throwdown at the time. I was just not playing anything because nothing interested me, But as usual, things will change during the fall. We're playing a lot of games, But Yeah, I always go through these droughts and stuff. Like at least once a year, I always take like a good 2 or 3 month hiatus from gaming because there's not just nothing to play. All right. Next up here, Killax 214. This is a funny one. Actually, the first two questions from him are Nintendo related. So Chris, get ready, man. All right. Will Nintendo ever sell off the Pokemon license in the future, or will they hold on to it for eternity?
That's an interesting question.
I like this question, especially considering his follow-up question. But let's answer this one first.
Yeah, they won't, and I'll tell you why. They will want to milk that license as much as possible. Like even if the games fall off, they will make toys and shirts and hats and make a deal with Universal, make a deal with Disney, put it in parks, put it in stores, like whatever they could do to get money off that license. And they know that license is big considering how well Pokemon Go is doing, how many people are playing it. They will hold on to that forever. They would have to like end as a company, end and have a THQ auction to get that thing away from them. They won't sell it.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, they don't all of Pokemon Company. They only own about 33% of it. So
well, they spun it off, but like it's tied to them like directly. Like
yeah.
there's no one like Pokemon Company could technically, and I've heard this, they could technically go make a Pokemon on a Sony or Microsoft platform if they wanted to. Now I heard that shit, but I don't believe it for a second.
Yeah, granted, like greedy bastards, man.
Yeah. Granted, you look at Pokemon Go, right? It doesn't say Nintendo on there at all, and Nintendo never announced it in their little plans, to whatever they were going to bring over to the to mobile. So this is something that was done specifically by the Pokemon Company. I'm sure Nintendo knew about it, because they own the greatest share of the Pokemon Company.
Right. Like Pokemon Company would have to find a way, and there could be like, because it's run in Japan, like I don't think they would do this, but like if it was here, right, what they could do is make a backdoor deal with Microsoft and say, hey, you could buy out those shares or buy out our shares and you own Pokemon, right? And that'd be something. And that's how they could get Pokemon off of Nintendo systems. But that I don't see that happening. But there's ways they could do it, but I don't foresee it happening.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. They're gonna hold on to that shit as greedily as possible.
Yeah.
All right, and the follow-up question, kind of related to this one, do you feel like Nintendo is acting a little salty about Pokemon Go's success? And this is what he says. He goes, in their recent report, they said they are not the owner and only have a little percentage of Pokemon. Maybe they are wishing it was a game they created, and they're trying to tell people not to put money in their stock. Like, what's this about exactly, Chris? Were Nintendo saying some shit or something?
No, they're just telling the truth.
Yeah, no, they're just saying like, all right, I mean they're not quite distancing themselves from Pokemon Go, and they definitely don't want people not to invest in their stock. That would be a stupid thing to do, to say like, oh, that's not really us, right? Because then investors would pull out and your stock would fall. What they have to do is they're treading a fine line, and they're not very good at their marketing lately or their statements, but they need to try to fine line with still garnering interest for the classic Pokemon games, right? So they got Sun and Moon coming out, but Pokemon Go has come out, and that has given people almost exactly what they've been asking for in terms of a Pokemon game. You have an interactive game that you can interact with people, sort of like the dream game was the MMO, right? And this sort of gives it to people in a mobile version. So then it's sort of like, well, how do you walk that back and have people play the old game, right? Sun and Moon is just going to be the same thing over again. So that I think that's where they're having trouble with the messaging, because they're going to put their muscle behind their game. The Game Freaks built Pokemon, right? They're not putting any muscle behind Niantic and stuff, and even Niantic realizes with all the problems they have with Pokemon, they haven't addressed any of them, and they're still trying to add features that were promised that they haven't added yet. So they have a problem. They're not really getting support from Nintendo, big surprise, And Nintendo's going to put that support behind Game Freaks and Pokemon Sun and Moon, and that's what they're going to promote. Like that, I said this before. They consider that the main game, so they really don't care about this. Like any Nintendo accessory that's outside of themselves, they don't care about it. And Pokemon Go is no different.
You know what I find interesting, right? Okay, every time you turn on the television, you see a commercial for that Arnold Schwarzenegger mobile game every fucking time, all day, every day, right? I have never seen a single Pokemon Go commercial. Isn't that interesting? The biggest game out there right now, not a single commercial for it. And it goes to what you just said. Nintendo's probably not gonna, put in people's faces as hard because they ultimately don't own the rights to it,
Yeah, they're gonna watch. There's gonna be TV ads for Sun and Moon. Wait till late August, early September, and you're gonna see TV ads. They're gonna run them against kids shows. You're gonna see Pokemon Sun and Moon all over the place, right? They won't talk about this game. They're gonna talk about Sun and Moon.
It's crazy.
So, yeah.
Maybe they'll talk about it if it helps Sun and Moon. Oh, you like Pokemon Go? Here's the real experience.
No, they won't even mention it.
No, they won't.
It's like when Ric Flair goes to WCW, and and leaves WWF. The WWF doesn't even talk about them until he comes back.
Yeah, he
never existed until until he comes back again.
It's hilarious, man. All right. By the way, for you guys in the chat room right now, because we're a little light on questions, if you want to ask us something, please go ahead. We will answer. But right now,
there was a giant comic convention out in San Diego. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it.
Yeah.
Quite a few things announced there.
But we do have a couple questions here about Comic-Con, so let's get into it. Still from Killax. He goes, what came out of Comic-Con this year that excited you? Here's the thing. Kristen was asking us a question kind of related to this. I don't know if I'm going to actually answer hers first. Because she feels that it was kind of underwhelming this year, or at least the hype for it.
Well, there is, one thing about it is that a lot of movie studios actually pulled out of Comic-Con.
Yeah, I mean, we'll address Kristen's question later because I found that very interesting because I kind of feel the complete opposite. Anyway, so what came out of Comic-Con that you saw this year? So what did you guys see that you were like, oh, shit?
Me, I was in toy mode, man. Like fucking, like 1,000 toys. Like they had this really awesome like Snake Eyes figure, that I really wanted. Fucking, 1,000 Toys is also working on a 1/6 scales Luden figure for Hideo Kojima. Not to mention all the different other Kojima toys that they're making.
Yeah, they're even making a 1/6 scale replica of naked Norman Reedus, right?
Yeah, they're not gonna do. I'm sure they're not gonna do that. But there is just like a bunch of shit that they had over there. I was like, oh my god, the new Marvel Legends, the friggin' Hot Toys has got a bunch of new figures. They got the Back to the Future 2 figures. They're actually making a Doc Brown one now. Oh, Marty! They got like 2 different companies that are making 1/6 scale Ghostbusters figures. This is like guys called something Blade or whatever. They're making like really awesome looking a batch of the original Ghostbusters with light up proton packs. Oh shit! There was just so much of that cool stuff. I mean, only today I actually caught up on some of the movie stuff, which fucking Yandu, he's got his mohawk now.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
That's all we need, man.
Man, yeah, and he's on the Guardians.
Yep.
Kurt Russell's in the fucking Guardians.
Dude, Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. This is Tango and Cash 2.
It's Tango and Cash 2. Except good.
Yeah. Oh.
Except good. So I mean, it's either that's cool. Like friggin', they bought out they showed some footage from Homecoming, and they had the Homecoming guys come out. I mean, they had the whole. They
got the Vulture in that bitch.
They showed they had the Vulture in there. I haven't seen it, but we saw that bit of concept art of him fighting the Vulture. Cool shit. Fucking Doctor Strange, that new Doctor Strange trailer, which looks like Inception times 20. All the buildings rotating around each other. Good stuff. And DC showing up with the Justice League. Showing up with the Justice League.
Dude, everybody was surprised because that was the unexpected. No one was expecting that at all. Even the big industry guys were like, what? What the fuck? No one was expecting that. Now, to be fair, yeah, there was footage. There wasn't a trailer, right? They were just showing some, was a sizzle reel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to talk about Justice League right now. Actually, no. We'll hold off because we do have a specific.
We have a question about that. Yeah,
we have
like,
a specific question about this.
was...
We'll get to that, dude. Ooh, I'm okay. I'm jumping in right now. Okay, because last year I felt okay. Just laying it out. To me, Comic-Con, what excites me most about Comic-Con is hearing about the comic book movies, right? Last year, we didn't get anything, really. It was boring last year. I was like, this San Diego Comic-Con sucks. This year, holy shit, this got me insanely hyped up. Okay, and the funny thing is, because I was out all day, I don't know if you can see it, I got fucking sunburn, and you can't kind of see it,
Yo, man, you burning? You too white?
That's the European genes, Anyway, so I was out all day. I didn't know about this shit. So I come home and everybody's like, yo, Tony, everyone's been sending me shit all day, right? Going crazy. So I'm looking at this. So I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts. So first up, let's go for Marvel, right? Marvel had, the Spider-Man shit. They had Doctor Strange, looked fucking insane. They announced, the new I was about to say Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers, she came out. They had to cast a fucking, was it Black Panther? Those beautiful black faces. I love that shit. We're gonna get a movie with all black people in it. It's $150 million and shit. Dude. Okay, because I've been reading the Christopher Priest run of Black Panther, right? They're putting all that shit in there, man. Dude, my man, Human Torch, he's playing fucking Killmonger. Dude, if you guys know the comics, every time Killmonger and Black Panther fight, he fucks up Black Panther every time. He fucks him up all the time. They got the fucking two girls, the Dora Milaje. One of them is played by Michonne. The other one's what's her face from Star Wars. She wasn't in the movie. She just did a voice. Remember that one with the big goofy glasses and stuff?
Oh yeah, the one that owned the bar.
Yeah, this movie is serious, man. When you got people whose names you can't even pronounce, some African fucking names, these guys are doing it right. It's great. So that's cool. Oh man, what else? Yeah, man, like you said, Hondu with the fucking
They literally rolled out.
I'm getting too excited right now.
They literally rolled out all the Ravagers, right? I guess the Ravagers now have a new leader, and fucking Yondu comes out. Friggin' what's his name? The name of that actor?
I forgot his fucking name. Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker rolls out. He's all in his whole Yandu gear, and he's got the full on Yandu like a mohawk. Because if you remember in Guardians 1, he had that little short, like, glowy mohawk. But in the comics, he used to have this big-ass fucking mohawk. So now they gave him a whole new robotic mohawk. Looks cool. And fucking Kurt Russell. Roll out Snake Plissken.
We need to talk about Kurt Russell for a little bit, because this confused the fuck out of me. So he is playing Ego the Living Planet. Like,
that's not a rumor, is it?
No, that's a fact.
Okay. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, this is the movie version of Ego, the Living Planet, so he actually turns into a human, right? He has a costume and everything, which I'm like, I want to see a big, stupid planet with a big face on it. That's the shit I want to see, When I heard, I'm like, wait, he's playing Ego, the Living Planet. Did I hear that right?
Then who is Sylvester Stallone playing? What, Quasar?
I don't know, man.
Hey, yo, I'm Quasar.
So we have pretty exciting stuff from the Marvel end, right? That would have been enough for me.
He's playing Dave Bautista's dad.
Yeah.
He's my son. Hey, he's my son. He's got his big muscles like me,
So that's from the Marvel end, right? DC end. DC, man. Ooh, DC. Don't fuck this up, please, because I like what you're showing me. So they had Wonder Woman, a whole trailer, right? Despite the fact that, Manny, please confirm this with me, because everybody was calling me crazy and I'm being nitpicky. Tell me she didn't look really fucking CG those last 30 seconds.
I haven't seen it. So
you haven't seen the trailer. I'll show it to you now, because you so faster than me.
I think that's just the lighting and how it looked.
No, she was CG as shit, dude.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, no, she was like heavily CG. Okay, go to the last like 30 seconds of the movie where she's fighting the Germans inside of a house specifically, right? She does like a leg sweep, she does like a punch and stuff. Like you see her flesh, it looks very, CG-ish, and her face looks really off too, Like the action looked cool, but it was obviously CG. I'm like, why don't you just train her to do this shit,
Well, maybe she can't do all that stuff, so maybe what they did is they had like a digital double.
Maybe.
But instead of doing all that crazy wire work and pulling her across the floor like she slides on her shield and she sweeps this guy and whatever, look how
CG.
the Batman v Superman Batman fight in the warehouse, like
Yeah.
it should look more like that, right? That's how
And-
you do that fight.
And the funny thing is, Batman was CG in that, Chris. But he looked.
But
good.
he looked good.
Yeah, but Chris, you saw the Wonder Woman trailer. Did she look
Yeah.
off to you too?
Yeah, I didn't like. There's a scene where she's jumping and she shoots an arrow. Not only did that look CG and fake, she's also like really floaty. I don't like
Yeah.
that when that looks like wire work shit. It really just bothers me. So yeah,
It
that
looked like the stuff from 300 to me. Like, it had like a very like 300 feel to it because again, like just ultra slow motion.
Zack Snyder
stupid.
DNA that's still in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but aside from the obvious CG shit going on, I liked what I'm seeing. There's color in it. You know, it isn't all
They
drab.
changed. I guess they changed the color of her outfit because she was supposed to have like a brownish
Yes,
one.
they did.
yeah, it's saturated now. It looks good.
Yeah,
They
but
actually had color in it. For
how
fuck's
was
sake.
that possible? But even the beginning of the trailer, you see this big blue, beautiful sky, oceans and stuff, beaches. I'm like, there's color now. What's this? But I do have to point this out. It's funny because she wakes up Steve Trevor. She's like, you're a man. I wanted him to go, how dare you assume my gender?
Uh-oh.
You know, but this World War I, no one was talking about that.
It's too bad he didn't give. It's too bad he didn't give a sexist Captain Kirk line.
Yeah, right. But yeah,
Well,
no, yeah. Go
Which,
ahead.
by the way, I did like the Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, so it was good. About Wonder Woman though, I did like that they threw in some obscure characters. I was trying to figure out who the chick was with the messed up face. I don't know if she's
Yeah, I don't know who
an
that
old
is.
Golden Age villain. I know there was a villain called the Baroness in
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. I didn't know if that was her or Medusa or somebody from the Amazons. And they threw in Etta Candy, which I was surprised. She's at the end of the trailer. She's Steve Trevor's secretary. So Etta Candy was basically Wonder Woman's sidekick in the Golden Age books. So I found that pretty interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, it looked cool. You know, like they had some fun in there too, which is cool. I like that scene where she's like, at a party and it's like this bitch has a sword in her dress. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So
She's gonna kill William Stryker.
Yeah, that was William Stryker.
You got to make sure it's hot. You got to make sure it's hot.
And then we got to talk about the.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, go ahead,
Can I
Brian.
just, like real quick? Like I really love like the end scene where like she's holding up the shield and being shot at. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. Her Captain America moment. With the shield.
Yeah. Well, also I'm glad they integrated the lasso into her fights.
Yes.
That she's using it.
And can I just point out that we are actually talking about a DC movie that we are excited about?
Yeah, how's that possible?
Because there's some people out there that think that we hate DC films because we didn't like Batman v Superman.
Oh, we just didn't like that.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm giving all these movies a, they're all on the hit list. I'm not gonna see them. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah. Even though that Tony and I both loved Man of Steel. But
Yeah,
yes,
we did.
Yeah. Like
The
Batman
Man
v
of
Superman
Steel was
a
okay
bad
in my
film.
book.
Yeah,
It's
but
okay.
Brian, no one wants to point that out because it doesn't fit their narrative. The narrative that we hate DC films. No, we want DC to do well. It's just when you present us a turd like Batman or Superman, we're gonna call it out for what it is—a piece of shit.
Mhm.
And that fucking extended edition didn't help matters. It actually made things worse. Oh man. Anyway, so
Yeah,
Wonder
that's
Woman
shit.
looks good. Yeah. Anyway, Wonder Woman looked cool. Now we got to talk about Justice League because this was the big surprise. Oh my! This whole trailer to me seemed like a big apology for Batman versus Superman. It's like, guys, we listen to you. Here's the tone change. Completely different tone in Justice League. This shit was actually fun. This trailer or footage was more fun to me than all of Batman vs Superman combined. It's crazy. Especially the scenes between Flash and Bruce Wayne. They were hilarious. He was like,
Which I call bullshit on that shit.
yeah, I know you didn't like that one very much. Man,
I
you
thought
didn't like this footage at all, did you?
I thought the trailer was meh. Whatever footage or whatever the hell it was. It's like, okay, so now it's like, hey, yay, we're gonna try to be funny. Hey, Why the fuck is Bruce Wayne going out and recruiting people? I point out that I put out that Flash sequence as one problem. Why? Okay, he goes there. He's like, "Hey, I'm Bruce Wayne, and I want to get you to do something." And he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Then he throws a stupid batarang at him. He's like, "Oh, you're pretty fast." Flash sees the batarang. He goes, "Yes, I want to join." Then fucking put on the goddamn suit.
Yeah, just show up as Batman.
Show up as Batman. Why? You're throwing a fucking clue? Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
agree
throw a
with
clue at you.
I agree with that. It's like it's a well-dressed man hiding in your like little man cave thing there, and it was kind of weird. And he didn't recognize him until he threw the batarang at his face. So that's a good
made
point.
more sense if he showed up. Hey, I'm drafting you into a war, or something like that. No, I'm blurry.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Do you think maybe he would be more receptive to Bruce Wayne than Batman? You know?
No.
Well, my problem is like I think Manny's right, but I think that Civil War and Marvel in general has influenced DC a lot. Like they have now made Bruce Wayne into Tony Stark.
He's Tony Stark. Let's just be real now.
Yeah, and he's now. They looked at him going to Spider-Man's house thing and went, "We need something light like that, right?" So that's why it's Bruce Wayne going. Bruce Wayne goes to Aquaman's village and cracks jokes about him talking to fish and stuff like that.
By the way,
okay, Batman is cracking jokes, you know?
Okay, here's the thing. Batman does crack jokes, but different jokes. But I'm gonna stop right there because that was the low point of the trailer for me because I actually enjoyed what I saw simply based on the fact that it was a tone change. I don't care if it didn't make any logistical sense. It was funny. That's all I cared about. But they had to ruin it with that same tired-ass Aquaman fucking joke. Everybody makes that fucking joke. I'm sick of it. Oh, you talk to fish. Ha ha, funny. No one cares. That's not funny anymore. It stopped being funny 10 years ago. You know
what he should have did? He's like, I also have a band too, and it's called White Zombie. Dig through the ditches and burn.
But aside from that, just the pure fact that they changed the tone. I mean, I love that part. He's like, hey, I'm going to recruit you for work. I'm in. Like, what? I'm in. I'm like, yes, that's Flash right there. He do shit like that, because he's like, let's get to the point, And
also, hey, by the way, let me add that Flash's suit looks very Spider-Man-ish.
Well, you're the first one to say that because people say that he looks like a Power Ranger.
No, it looks Spider-Man-ish to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like armor.
Yeah, I'm just so happy with the tone change. I mean, it still looks dark as shit because it's still a Zack Snyder movie, But I'm pretty happy with it, I just hope, again, that joke needs to go. Stop that nonsense,
Drunken. So how do you make Aquaman cool? You make him a drunk. He drinks Coronas before he makes this happen.
Yeah, I know. I found that weird that he was drinking whiskey before he like.
He was like drinking whiskey or something, yeah. Because he's extreme,
He's extreme Aquaman.
Well, you know what that reminded me of? Did you guys see the Throne of Atlantis movie?
No.
Okay, so anyway, in the beginning of it, Aquaman is in like, he's in Maine, right? He's in like a seafood restaurant. He's drunk as shit talking to the lobster. I'm wondering if it's a call on that, because he was drinking and that's why he didn't know about his heritage or whatever. But I'm guessing this guy knows about his heritage, or maybe he just denounced it. I don't know.
You could be a king. So, okay, here's the other question. Where is this movie happening? Is this the next film that's coming?
Yes.
There's not going to be a Batman film?
No, Batman's after that.
Okay.
Well, it's a little weird because they just called it Justice League. So is this still a two-parter?
No, not anymore.
So it's just one movie. So there's no hint of Superman at all, right?
No, none.
No, other than the fact that he rolled his ass out on the stage, like, hey, there might be another guy. Oh, come on, shut the fuck up. You killed him already. You're making a Justice League movie, and you're not going to have Superman in it?
Right. Well, I still think they have a problem where they don't know what to do with him. So I think he's going to be more of a plot device than a character. Like, you have your characters, like you have Batman rolling up the team together, right? And they're going to go do something. There was parts of the trailer I liked. Like, when I saw it, I'm like, wow, this is way better, right? And there's stuff I don't like. Like, Cyborg looks stupid. I don't like the shrapnel-looking Transformers metal shit.
Yeah, I want it to be smooth,
Yes.
Like I liked his face. That looked cool, but his chest little area, I'm like, what is this?
I was hoping
chest little area.
Yeah, I was hoping
he is edgy.
He's edgy.
He's edgy, literally.
Yeah. yes. Like, yo, man, it's supposed to be round, man, cyborg, man. But at the same time, Chris, without, even though you said that, I still like the fact that the white was actually white. It wasn't like dark or anything, because they could have easily done that shit. And I like how his costume is red. It's not like that,
Yeah.
weirdo.
Well, I think they're saturating everything now. They've gotten the dark. The DC has come out of the darkness now. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, we can't go dark anymore. Resaturate everything. Put colors.
Put colors back.
Yeah, let's make the only thing that doesn't have really any color in it is Batman.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have fun with him and make him blue.
Yeah, we could jump ahead to the next question. We can still come back anyway. So, do you have faith now? After seeing this Justice League trailer for the movie?
Nope. Want to know why? You want to know why? Because it's just a fucking trailer. That's it.
Yeah. My thing is, I don't have faith. I have a little bit more hope now, because if they keep going along with that tone, then yes, I'm all for it. But I can't have faith in that. I'm not going to have faith in Warner Brothers until they release minimum 4 movies in a row that are good, not great, good. If they do that 4 movies in a row, then I'll be on board. Right?
Listen,
right now, I could just hope.
If I could talk to Warner Brothers, I would say at least make something on the level of Iron Man 2, because that's better than Batman Superman.
Man, listen, man, you're not lying. You're not lying.
The first on the level of the two Thor movies that we've had, those are okay.
I like those movies though.
They're not like great, but they're okay. Like they're entertaining. They do what they're supposed to, but they're not super awesome, great movies.
Yeah.
At least on that level. If you can make a few movies at least on that level, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're not asking for much,
No.
But yeah,
my expectations are already low.
Yes, yeah, that's my thing. I don't have renewed faith or anything, because you can't renew faith that wasn't really there, So I just I'm more hopeful. I guess that's the word. I'm more hopeful for it, because I did like what I was shown so far. What about you guys? Brian, actually, go ahead, man. Finish up, and then Brian go.
Also, to me, this situation just seemed like another situation where they showed that sequence of Batman Superman where Batman's standing on the roof and Superman shows up like looking at him all pissed off, and they're about to fight, and that looks like that sort of thing. It's like something to make the fans go ooh, but it's like it really isn't anything.
Yeah. All right, Brian. What do you say
about
do you have faith now?
I've definitely have more faith. Well, I have more hope now that just the film will actually be good. Again, as I was talking to, I think to Blackstar, like it would be nice if they show like a trailer or a tease for like the big man, so like a Superman cape or Superman's foot just coming out from somewhere, or just have acknowledgement that Superman will somehow not be a part, but just say that, hey, look, there's Superman in here. Like, how in Civil War trailer they shown Spider-Man at the end, or how in Age of Ultron they shown Vision at the end of the trailers. Just something like that. Was like, hey, Superman's cape or the big S or something like a Man of Steel coming along. Just to have something like that. But I'm definitely excited, or I definitely have faith now, because it's like, again, color has been brought back. It's kind of funny. It's not too dark. The people there have personalities and have character. Their characters have character, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually seems like it's like a step in the right direction.
All right, Chris, what do you say?
Yeah, I do have a little more hope. I like the tone change. I like the kind of Ocean's 11 feel it has instead of whatever Batman Superman was. So yeah, I have a little more hope that this will be good, and especially like I think they really are course correcting. Wonder Woman, I'm more excited for. Like seeing that trailer, definitely more hype for that movie. But Justice League, yeah, I definitely have more hope for that. Than I hope. It looks like it will be definitely be more satisfying than Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I mean, most movies are more satisfying than Batman vs Superman. To be fair, Okay, what other things did they show there at Comic-Con that got you excited? I like the TV, the DC TV stuff too. They showed some stuff off from Flash season 3. They're doing Flashpoint now, which is crazy. They got Wally West, as the Flash. A couple villains are showing up. pretty interesting shit. So I'm looking forward to. Even though I'm like, you couldn't have given them one more season as the regular like world until you shifted everything. You know, that's my only complaint. And then I heard that there's going to be, because remember, Flash universe takes place with the same universe as Green Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. Apparently, because of that time shift, those shows are going to be slightly altered as well. Very interesting, right? So we'll see. And then Supergirl's going to be coming on, so they're going to see how they're going to get her integrated, because they said they want to do like a 4-night special with all shows 1 week. Pretty crazy shit. And then even the comic stuff I was pretty happy about. With DC Rebirth, they were just showing off some of the more titles that are coming out during the next couple of months. And then one thing that one of the writer of Batman said, it was like a throwaway line, but I'm like, oh, cool. He said that by the end of the year, he hopes to have 3 we're going to have 3 trade paperbacks that tell 3 different stories. That tells me that DC is actually going to put out trade paperbacks faster than they used to. If you guys remember DC with their trade paperbacks, they used to be slow as shit. 3 trade paperbacks in a year, because remember, they're doing them every other week now, the comics, so they're going to be putting them out pretty fast. So Batman started in June along with a bunch of other titles. So if we get a bunch of graphic novels by the end of the month, by the end of the year, that'll be really cool. So I'm pretty excited about that. Anything else for you guys that excited you over the Comic Cons? I'm gonna take that as a no.
Well, I did see somebody did sneak out footage from Thor Ragnarok, and I saw it, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else saw it. Like, if you search on YouTube, you can find it. Like, I know Marvel was like, nobody record this, and of course somebody's gonna record it, and they said they were gonna actively delete it. But I found a guy who had the video up from the panel.
Yeah, I mean, the thing we can tell you is Hulk is in it. Planet Hulk is going to be addressed in this. They showed the prop of like the helmet and the big axe and stuff.
Yeah, so that looked cool. That I'm excited for.
Yeah,
sure.
And Spider-Man, obviously, can't wait for that shit. Spider-Man.
What's funny during the Spider-Man panel, they didn't. They said, "Hey, here's some of Spider-Man's friends," but they never explained who any of those kids were.
Yeah. Thank you, Kellogg, for bringing this up. They showed Justice League Action. This is the cartoon, right?
It looks like a toy ad.
It's nicely drawn.
It's nicely animated.
Nicely animated too, but yeah, it's definitely a younger.
It's a kid show. It's a kid show. This looks like even a younger show than the Marvel cartoon shows that are on now. 15 minutes and stuff. I'm like, I don't know about this. Kind of fucked up, because you remember the old Justice League from the early 2000s. You want that again, Crazy shit. But they're not doing that. And speaking about that, Marvel, how they have, what is it, Avengers Assemble? They're switching that. It's not going to be called Avengers Assemble Secret Wars, and they're changing the entire lineup. They're pretty much bringing all the quote-unquote diverse Avengers in there. Kamala Khan, Carol Danvers, Black Panther. They're bringing all the other guys in there instead to replace the current Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing that. I think that's whatever. I don't care. I don't care either way.
I mean, in general, the Marvel TV shows aren't exactly very good.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, I watch them, but it's kind of like mainly, like you say, just background stuff.
They're just like, a lot of them are weak. Even Guardians of the Galaxy is a very weak show.
Yeah, I haven't really bothered with that, but yeah, I mean, when it sucks because the shows that were on previous to this, right? Spectacular Spider-Man and Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes were fantastic shows, but these ones are just, I don't know, man.
They all hit like a weak note.
Yeah, there's nothing really incredible about them. All right, I guess and the last question from Kristen, she goes, do you guys feel that overall there was less hype for Comic-Con this year? It seems like there was less news dropped than usual. See, I don't. Maybe it's just because I only really focus on the movies, the comic book movie stuff. So from that end, I got way more stuff than I usually got, than last year specifically. So I felt that there was more hype for Comic-Con this year from that end, but I can't really judge it overall. Do you guys feel there was like less hype for it? Because I looked at my Twitter. My Twitter was blowing up this year just like it has before, maybe even more so because of all the Marvel and DC stuff, But then again, that's one of my followers are more interested in.
I didn't feel like there was a less knowledge, but I feel like there was a lot of, again, like I said, I was more concentrated on the toy stuff, and I felt like there was just a lot of really good stuff coming out that I really wanted to get.
Yeah, Chris, what do you say, man?
Well, we were looking at the same media, so I agree. Like it just I don't know. There just didn't seem to be as much stuff if you were on the outside. Like I wasn't paying attention to specifics like toys or movie announcements. I just got things as they came in. So I just felt like, hey, I didn't hear any hype for this stuff. I didn't, I know nobody knew they were going to show off Justice League, but I was like, why am I not hearing more stuff about what Marvel's going to drop or anything like that? Like I heard it after the fact.
Okay, okay, but I mean, usually you would hear it during it or something.
Well, usually before, like I'd read something and be like, oh, Marvel's going to talk about this, that, blah, blah. I didn't see any of that. I don't know if it's if it's because I wasn't focusing on it, I just missed out, but it just didn't feel like that news was like more front and center because I usually pay attention to that stuff.
I'm very interested because to me it seemed like it was, being pretty hyped up for like the entire week even before Comic-Con. But again, I kind of come at it from a different place. Brian, what about you, man?
I generally don't follow the hype for Comic Con. It just happened, and I have my eyes. No, I'm like the fly on the wall thing. It's like it just happened, and I just listen in, and then I just phase out. So yeah, I just don't follow it. So I can't really say.
Ooh, I forgot to mention, fucking Kong, man. Ooh,
Oh, Skull Island, yeah.
gives me that movie, man. Ooh, that looks good.
I haven't seen the trailer for that thing yet.
You notice they made King Kong big, right? There's a reason for that because he has to fight Godzilla, so they need to make him huge. Because they're setting up the whole Godzilla versus King Kong movie.
Yeah.
Does that mean they made Skull Island incredibly huge too?
Yeah, it's Skull Continent now, right?
Well, you notice like the helicopters they're flying in, the equipment they have, it kind of looks like Vietnam era, doesn't it? Like you notice they have Huey choppers, the uniforms they were wearing is very very reminiscent of like soldiers deployed to Vietnam. They were flying the same Hueys and things like that. They didn't have modern gear, and it wasn't older. It's not definitely not happening in the 30s, right? It's not like it's happening in the 70s or the early 80s.
By the way, it would be interesting if this movie takes place in the 70s because if you guys remember, actually you guys probably don't remember because you're too fucking young, they did a King Kong remake that took place in this modern day 70s. He climbed the Twin Towers and shit,
Yeah.
So that would be interesting if they do that, because remember the last King Kong remake went back to the past, right? The original era. So this one would be going to the 70s one. That would be pretty cool. They got Samuel L. Jackson in this. That's a big motherfucker ape.
So they didn't have, the other telltale sign you saw in there. You didn't see like, the cast of MASH or anything show up, right, Chris?
No, I didn't see that. By the way, the girl who plays Carol Danvers, she's in this movie too. She's the woman. When
she's the woman.
Yeah, King Kong's gonna steal her and stuff. Smell her and shit.
Well, no, maybe they won't do that.
Oh, actually, they probably can't do that.
I know, he's way bigger.
Don't do that. Yeah, he's big. He'll be holding her like that. But the thing is, okay, you saw how big he was, but only in fleeting glimpses. It wasn't like full on in your face. They're probably saving that for later. I love the movie poster. If you guys saw it,
I hope
King Kong, man.
I just hope they don't do the same shit they did with Godzilla. It's like, ooh, Godzilla, you get little glimpse, and then we're gonna turn the camera away.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, if you go by the original standards, right? Because Godzilla did that because the original Godzilla didn't show you too much Godzilla. The original King Kong still showed you a lot of King Kong.
Yes.
By the end of it, they went crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, not even the end of it. When they got to Skull Island, when you see Kong, he was fucking up dinosaurs and stuff.
He literally, the first time you see they had the lead up, they had all the crazy like natives going insane, and as soon as he pops out of the fucking forest and he grabs her and he had that weird like Frankenstein face that they use the close-up face.
Yeah, as soon as he shows up, you see a lot of Kong. So I'm gonna assume that you see a lot of Kong in this one too.
I feel here's the thing. The one issue. I mean, the issue that I have with Godzilla. Yes, they were trying to go for that whole thing with the suspense, but the problem is they showed more of the Muto than they actually showed of Godzilla.
Yeah, that's true.
To be
You
honest,
know,
I feel like they wanted to go for that monster fight thing, but I feel like they probably should have just left out the Muto and just went with the Godzilla thing again.
just have him just destroying
Just
everything,
him be
right?
the threat.
Yeah. Well, you know why they did that though? Because they wanted him to be the hero.
So what is he going to be in the next film? The villain?
Well, no, because well, think
When he
about it.
fights King Kong?
He's not gonna be the villain. It's gonna be like Civil War. You don't know what side to choose. They both have their valid arguments. I'm a big green monster. I'm a big hairy ape. Like I understand where both of you are coming from. I get it.
Oh, we're gonna
You
have
know?
what's his face show up again. Let them fight.
Yeah, let them fight.
Let them fight more.
Was he still alive by the end of it?
I don't know.
Yeah, Watanabe.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
Okay,
Yeah.
so bring Watanabe. What do? Let them fight.
But wait, you said to let them fight last time, and they destroyed most of LA. Listen, I really want to see a giant monster battle. I've waited since a child to see this. Let them fight.
Let them fight. Oh man, or you could be like, who won that fight? Godzilla. I was right.
Obviously.
Godzilla fucked him up, dude. He fucked them things up, then he left. And
Did you see the fire he throws out of his mouth? That was so awesome. See why you have to listen to Ken Watanabe when he says, "Let them fight."
I thought your name was Bubba. You changed your name, man. You're breaking character. That's funny. All right, so that pretty much does it for all the questions here. Again, kind of light week. I'm going to do the usual fluff up, even though we already said we're not playing too much. What games were we playing lately? I know, Manny, you're not playing nothing.
Let them fight.
Yeah, you're playing Let Them Fight. Yeah, I finished playing the Banner Saga. And I need to play Inside. I hear that's a good game. I bought it too, so I'll get around to that.
And you bought that shit? They didn't send that shit to you? You're not paid off by the industry?
Yeah, apparently I'm not. Chris, you playing anything, man?
I went back to Dark Souls 3 because I'm trying to get that platinum.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm on a quest to get everything too, but I have to go into like multiple new game plus, so it's getting fucking harder as I go along,
yeah.
man.
That's crazy. Brian, what about you, man?
Apart from Pokemon Go, not really.
You're still playing Pokemon Go?
Hey, it's something to play when I'm walking to work and I'm walking back from work. It makes the time go faster.
Hey, Brian,
Yeah,
I
you
gotta ask. I gotta ask, how stable is yours?
Oh, it's shit.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I'm like, how are people like level up? It's Kristen's doesn't stay stable for like 5 minutes.
Oh, you know how people level up, right? You just keep catching Pokemon and evolving them.
Yeah, well, after you catch one, the game like screws up. Like ours crashes all the time.
Jossie's one has been doing pretty well.
It's kind of hit and miss, to be fair. Like, sometimes, and that's when the servers are actually up and working. Sometimes when the servers are down, it's like, yeah, you get no play at all. So, it's kind of shit. Yeah, it's kind of a terrible app experience, to be fair. Like, when the app runs, it's alright for the most part. Again, it has frame rate problems, it doesn't work well, AR kind of like makes things run worse. It's like, Jesus Christ.
You never run that thing with the AR anyway.
No.
You catch them when they're, when they, just in the normal mode. Don't even turn that stupid thing on.
But then, all in all, again, I don't play it for the app experience, and I play it because, again, friends are playing it, and we have fun just talking about stuff that we're doing. It's like, we're both trying to get Gyarados, so we're both trying to get like the candy for that, and just seeing who gets there first, who gets a good one, and then we battle for gyms. It's more of like a social aspect is what's fun rather than the game itself. To be fair.
Yeah, Kristen says mine is absolutely terrible.
It's I don't know how they managed to release this like this because it's honestly it's shockingly bad. To be fair.
Obviously, they didn't get all the kinks out when they converted it from whatever game it was before.
Oh.
Man. Well, what's hilarious is they had a panel at San Diego, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a laundry list of things to fix." It's like, motherfuckers, you haven't fixed anything yet.
Yeah, right.
No, they just put a warning on the front of the game so that you don't walk into a Gyarados. I think that was new.
Just a warning when you're playing this game. Please make sure that you don't walk into another country. I am not
How,
making this up.
yeah, or, how about the because some of the places that are actually Pokestops and Pokemon and like Pokemon gyms are pretty hilarious. Like two cemeteries in my area are Pokestops. Like literally, the Pokestop is in the middle of the fucking cemetery.
Yeah, man, they want you to dance with Michael Jackson, you know?
Yeah, they want you to like. And then the funny thing is that because me and Jossie kind of like before the throwdown, we went to go get some food at the local Wawa, and like there were all these kids kind of hanging out in the front of the cemetery, because they were trying to get into the Pokestop.
Hey, those kids ain't afraid no ghosts.
Hey, listen, I lived near a cemetery for years, right outside of my house. Didn't see a damn ghost.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you should give us a Pokestop.
Yeah, you know what would be hilarious? I should next time I go to my house in Queens, we'll see if the cemetery, the Jewish cemetery over there, is a Pokestop.
Man, Chris, is that true that your Pokestop is a cemetery too?
Yeah, there's a cemetery like near us, between us, our complex, and there's a car dealership. Right between that is an old, like an 1800s old, fucking Civil War cemetery. Right,
Oh,
that's just a
shit.
Pokestop. Yeah, I've seen people climb the fence to go in.
Yeah, that's exactly. These kids were like waiting outside of the fence to
Yeah.
try to go in.
People drive up to it, like drive on the sidewalk and go up to it. Like I know what I see you. I'm like, I see you, motherfucker. You're playing Pokemon Go.
I see you.
Driving up to a cemetery.
By the way, I like how you casually just said, I've been living by cemeteries my whole life, never seen a ghost. It's like you said it like, oh yeah, I've been in the ghetto, I've never been shot at. It's like, what? Like, Manny, okay, I don't know.
Well, you listen. The first thing that people ask you when you live by a fucking cemetery is, "Oh, is there some ghosts? Do you see anything?" No, you don't see any fucking thing. The shit that you got to be afraid of are the living people. You don't got to worry about no dead people.
Yes.
That's exactly what my mom said when I was a kid. She's like, "Listen, there's nothing in that cemetery that's gonna hurt you. It's the living people you got to worry about."
Yeah, that's some sage advice right there. And I just wanted to say that to state the obvious. You never saw any ghosts because ghosts aren't fucking real.
Well, I mean, what kind of ghost would be there?
Man, no ghosts. Ghosts don't exist.
Like I'm thinking about, okay, what kind of ghost would come from a Jewish cemetery? What are they gonna do to me? They're gonna nag me to death. Tell me I'm being too loud.
Really, unless they're like poltergeist ghosts or something.
Oh
Ghosts are
yeah, where they fuck with my brain, like in Poltergeist.
Ghosts are interesting, by the way. It's like, okay, basically they let you come into the house, right? Then they fuck with you, moving shit around, right? Sometimes they'll pop up, and then they'll just start going crazy trying to kill you. It's like, why not try to kill me beforehand? Just skip to that already. Why go through all this nonsense,
They gotta fuck with you. That's why.
They just want to mess with your mind.
Yeah. Actually, you know why? Because the movie will be over in 2 minutes if they do that. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna buy this house after all. That thing's gonna try to kill me.
Speaking of just speaking of Poltergeist, did you know that in Poltergeist the movie that they actually used real skeletons?
Oh, really?
Oh,
Because real skeletons were cost less money to buy than making plastic cheap skeletons.
Wow.
So yeah, all those
Man.
skeletons. If you ever watch the movie Poltergeist, and you see the fucking skeletons popping out of the pool and shit, real fucking skeleton.
That's awesome.
Okay, the question is, did they get credit for that though?
No, I think the skeletons actually came from India. There was actually there was like a big skeleton like market, like black market, where you can get these like skeletons of criminals and all kinds
there
of
are some
horrible people.
skeletons.
Yeah. Here, hey, you need a skeleton? I got one for you.
By the way, I think I just figured out every ghost movie ever. The
Yeah.
ghosts are in league with the people that sell the houses. It's like, listen, man, you don't show yourself up, right? You scare them a little bit in the beginning, because I want to close this deal. As soon as it's closed, then you go fucking crazy, and then we can do it again. I don't know what the ghost gets in return, right? But they have to have some kind of deals. Like, listen, don't fuck with these people until like 2 weeks. Then when the deal is closed, then you can go crazy. You know? That's what's going on. All right, so let's wrap it up here. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section on The Coalition on YouTube so we can answer them on next week's show, people. Make sure to follow The Coalition at thecoalition.com. Also help support the site by donating to the Patreon page. Subscribe to Throwdown, SoundCloud, iTunes, and the YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and it's joined by Emilio Lopez.
You forgot to remove the bodies!
Chris Seeley.
Hey, good night, everyone.
And Brian Manjoma.
Later, peoples.
All right, guys. Peace.
Later, guys.
Latest.